For more, we can go across to Nicolas Locker, expert virologist at the University of Surrey. Thank you very much for joining us here on France 24. Just as you heard there from our correspondent, authorities in China fearing a second wave of new infections. Is this something we in Europe should be preparing for?
So I think it all depends on how well we manage this first wave. Before worrying about the second wave, let's try and control the outbreak that is currently ongoing. I believe one of the worries with that potential second wave is what could happen if we were to lift the control measure and the lockdown measures too early. Would we allow people that are naive to the virus to be circulating in the population, and potentially these very healthy individuals could be infected and a new source of spread for the virus. And this is why, in a way, we really need to be extra careful with the current lockdown. We need to enforce it across Europe, across the world, actually, just to make sure that we get everything under control right now.
I know there's a lot unknown about the coronavirus. One of the things I want to find out is, I want to ask you is if you have any idea about this, is if asymptomatic people, that means people who've had COVID-19, who've been positive, who did not show symptoms, could they possibly get infected a second time around and this time show symptoms?
Yeah, so that's the $1 million question. Everybody is asking that question. We cannot answer definitely this question right now for a various number of reasons. The main one being that we lack some of the serological tests that would allow us to basically be able to detect and monitor the susceptibility of asymptomatic patients to reinfection. Okay, so unfortunately, it is not something we can answer right now. Now, if you compare this coronavirus to other respiratory infections, what we know, for example, for seasonal coronaviruses that are mild, or in the case of influenza, we seem to be protected against the virus that is circulating at one point in time. And as we build immunity against this virus, and as the virus mutates through its natural evolution process, we tend to be susceptible to reinfection the next season by, let's say, the next crop of the same virus. There's no particular reason to think that this coronavirus would be different. This is why having really a good knowledge of immunity against the currently circulating coronavirus is critical, and this is how it will inform vaccine design and control strategies in the population now and in the future.
Very quickly, the mayor of New York has advised residents there that they should be covering their faces once they leave their houses. He's saying you should not use, medical masks, but a scarf or something. Do you advise that?
First of all, I'm not an advisor. I don't advise anything to anyone. I'm just a virologist. What I would say is that wearing any sort of protection will do more good than harm, provided that you don't contribute to depleting stocks of items for which we are already short for all the frontline workers that are working in hospitals.
Nicolas Locker, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Okay, so if you want to cover your face...
Sorry, I thought you had... thank you very much for joining us on the program today.